Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is April. I go by Ruby Rouge here on the YouTubes, and today I'm going to do a different kind of video, kind of the same, kind of different. I do have notes here, so I'm probably going to look down just because I need to keep myself on track because this is going to be a long one. Alright, so let me tell you what's going on here. I have had two friends come to me this year and be like, girl, actually friend, my hair is breaking off. What the heck do I do? And both of them, after showing me, I could definitely see where they were losing all of their volume in this part right here, you know, this part. One friend actually had little pieces breaking right in here, and I'm like, oh no. So I start racking my brain because they came to me for a reason, because I had this exact same thing happen to me in 2013 right before I started my YouTube channel. And I actually, when I first started my channel, I made some videos about damaged hair because I was coming from that place of I'm going through this too and I got to figure out what to do. Now I'm a little bit in retrospect. I still do keep an careful eye on my hair. I still follow a lot of these tips. But I just wanted to kind of put the whole video together, put everything in a pot, give you all of the information that I have all in one place so you don't have to go searching on a million different websites for a million different tips. You've probably heard a lot of these things before, but I doubt you've heard them all in one place. And so I'm here to give you as much info as possible. Get out a notepad or whatever and a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and let's get going. Okay, so let me tell you what I do. First of all, I do want to mention this is going to address hair that is breaking off, not hair that's thinning at the scalp. Those are typically caused by different things, and that would be a whole nother video on its own. So the very first thing you're going to want to do if your hair starts breaking off is stop what you were doing. Just stop immediately and get out your notebook and start writing about what you're doing. Take notes of what products you're using, your styling tools, your chemical treatments, your stress levels, your diet, and you want to go back within like a whole year, because what I have found, let me see how I worded this, because usually the confusion comes in when there are two more factors that cause the breakage. So normally, like if you have a bad day at the salon and the lady just fries or somebody just fries your hair, like you know what happened, you know why your hair is breaking off. The problem is when you don't know why your hair is breaking off, and what I've found over observation is that that is usually because there's at least two factors. So maybe you constantly dye your hair blonde. You've been dyeing your hair blonde for years and years and years, never ever ever had a problem, but suddenly you're going through this really stressful and traumatic event in your life, and maybe you're not eating as good as you should be, and then all of a sudden your hair starts breaking off and you're like, why is my hair breaking off? I've always dyed my hair. But you're not putting all the pieces together. So that's what this kind of video is here to kind of help you do, is kind of look, I keep saying kind of, I'm sorry, but is to look at everything and figure out, you know, what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong, what could be the potential causes, and how can I correct it. Next thing you need to do is you're going to have to make a decision whether or not you're just going to cut it off or you're going to baby it. I talk towards the end of the video, I talk about how to baby your hair, but basically if you're just going to cut it off, I would still say to keep watching, because you might learn how to prevent this from happening in the future. So I think it's up to you whether or not you want to cut or baby, but we'll get to the babying here in a little bit. Next thing you really need to do is stop coloring or any other chemical treatments that you are doing to your hair. Chemical treatments are like one of the hardest things on your hair, because what they're actually doing, like the ammonia in dyes, is actually opening up your hair. It opens up your hair shaft. I might be saying this incorrectly, I'm not a hair expert, but it opens up your hair shaft and allows the products to seep in to change the chemical structure of your hair. Okay, you can't do that without repercussions, all right? Even like I've just been very gently putting on a little bit of color on my hair since I personally stopped coloring, and I can tell a change in my hair. It's not super bad right now, but I can already tell I'm like, I need to slow down on the coloring because it's changing the structure of my hair. It's making the texture a little bit different, and I don't like it as much. I miss my super, super healthy hair. If you can't stop coloring, like if you just really can't in your mind stop coloring, at least try to stop coloring the parts that are damaged, all right? So, for example, there's lots and lots of looks right now where you can get away with a dark root. And I feel like with hair, pretty much anything goes right now. So you can do the dark root, you can do an ombre, you can do a balayage, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with your hair and not really have to worry about it too much. It's not like back in the 90s where we did everything all one color. Like hair you always had to have your roots done. And even still, even if you're a blonde and you like keeping your roots done, you can have your colorist touch up your roots and not necessarily touch up your hair. When I talk about other things that need to stop, we're also talking about purple, red, color maintenance shampoos. Unfortunately, those shampoos are oftentimes just as bad as the hair dye. They also tend to have chemicals in it that open the hair shaft a little bit. Even if they don't, I find them to be very, very drying and not so good for the hair. So I would really just recommend do your best to stop doing any chemical treatments. You can talk to your hair colorist or whoever is working on your hair and see if they can kind of come up with a plan for you so that you can stop putting the chemical treatments on the hair. Or at least on the damaged hair. You know, also don't let your colorist, I keep saying your colorist because I get my hair colored. I don't do it, that's what I do. But you know what I mean. Please don't let someone talk you into just continuing to do what you've been doing, because even if it's not their fault and even if your hair's breaking for other reasons, you don't want to keep damaging it. So follow your gut, trust your instinct. If you know something's going wrong with your hair before it all breaks off in a big lump at one time, just make sure they stop. Make sure they come up with a different plan. If they refuse to do that for you, just because they're professionals doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean they know everything, and doesn't mean they can't make a bad judgment call. So at the end of the day, this is your hair. Trust your gut if you don't want to have to cut your hair off. The next very important step, this is step number 4, is to get your diet in check. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit because I need to hurry up. So if you're eating a healthy diet, your hair will grow faster. A diet rich in greens is the A+ diet for healthy skin and hair. My favorite way to get a crap ton of greens in my diet, I meant to bring one up here because I drink them all the time, but the little suja juices, or make my own juices in a juicer, but just lots and lots of vegetables in those things. Spinach, kale, apples, tons of vegetables. They also have a really, really high biotin content without having like the side effects of taking pill form biotin. I don't really understand why. I would say because it's wrapped in other nutrients, But I notice when I'm drinking the green juices, my hair, skin, nails, all of this is like going crazy, glowing, growing, and it's just beautiful. Otherwise, you can take a multivitamin. Some people do get side effects from biotin. Once again, if you get it from your food, you're less likely to get side effects. So I really recommend the green juices. Another thing that I want to talk about, and I don't want to get too much into sensitive topics here, but your weight, not your weight, eating disorder, disordered eating, and or just losing weight. Okay, so one of the very first things that happens when people are anorexic or under eating and or just losing weight is it can affect your hair. I don't really understand why. I haven't read enough about it to understand it, but obviously something happens when your body is hungry and it stops sending the nutrition to your hair. I don't really know what causes it, but I know that this is a very common factor that a lot of people talk about. You could probably read a little bit more about it. The reason I really wanted to mention this is I feel like a lot of people who are anorexic or have eating disorders kind of already know this, but I'm kind of talking to the group of people who maybe just went on a diet and I lost 15 pounds this year, and you're super excited about it, however your hair is breaking off. Obviously, you want to check and make sure you're not having a nutritional deficiency. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. A nutritional deficiency in your diet. And then number 2, check and make sure that you're not losing too much weight and that maybe you're not under eating. because your body may think that it's starving even though you're just on like a temporary crash diet. Your body may be like go into starvation mode and be like, no, I'm hungry, you feed me, give me some vitamins, and I will make your hair grow back beautiful and strong. Okay, the next topic number 5. This is stress. I would have never, ever, ever believed that stress would make my hair fall out, break, or any of that until it happened to me. Like I said, this is a combination of several factors for most people, and I think that stress was one of my factors. I was going through the absolute worst, I wouldn't say the worst year of my life, but it was the highest stress year of my life. Like, even looking back, counting up all of the things I had to go through, things I had to accomplish, things that had to get done, and like their level of seriousness and just go that I had to have that year, I don't want to do it again. Like, I don't want to do it again. It still stresses me out to even think about it, and that was 5 or 6 years ago. So believe it. When people tell you that stress affects your health negatively, even if you haven't experienced it yet, one day in your life you probably will, and you need to go ahead and just believe it, because you need to protect yourself. You need to try and take care of yourself so that this isn't a thing. Because when your hair starts falling out, you're gonna be like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening. Another thing is, when I thought about when I was like losing my hair and it was all falling out, I'm like, this can't be stress. Stress would happen at the scalp. Well, which that's not entirely true. It can, in fact, happen at the scalp. But there are several different types of stress, and we have telogen effluvium is significant stress. I'll put it up here somewhere. Pushes large numbers of hair follicles into resting phase. Within months, the affected hairs might fall out suddenly when simply combing or washing your hair. This also makes your hair very weak. This was way down on the article, so I'm not quoting anymore. But this makes your hair very weak, and it's just not a good process that you want. It's not something you want to experience. Then you also have trichotillomania. Put it up here. Irresistible urge to pull out hair from the scalp. I could see how stress would cause that. And then we have alopecia areata. We'll put it up here. Alopecia. I think most people are common with alopecia. And there's lots of factors thought to cause alopecia, but one of them could be severe stress, and this is basically when the body's immune system attacks the hair follicles, causing hair loss. And we know that stress causes your body and we know that stress can cause an immune response that causes your body to attack itself. So we don't want that. There's not always an easy fix to reduce the causes of stress in your life. Stress is normal, and sometimes we have to go through really stressful periods. Okay, so there's not always an easy fix to reduce stress in your life. I get it. You know, stress is a normal thing. Sometimes we just have to go through these periods, and sometimes they all just happen at once, and there's nothing you can do but just go forward. I think we can make a whole video, we can make 150,000 videos on how to deal with and cope with stress in a healthy way. I'm just going to tell you, stress can be a good thing. It can be an indicator that things are wrong. I'm going to tell you to accept your stress. I'm going to tell you to make sure that you're naming your emotions and feeling your emotions and letting them be expressed. So if you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad. Like, trying to pretend you're not those things will make your body so much more stressed. So that would be my number one tip, dealing with stress. Also, make sure that you do give yourself time to relax, meditate, do yoga, exercise, something. Another tip on exercise, don't try to exercise too hard. Do easy exercises when you're really, really stressed, because that can actually exacerbate stress symptoms. And also, just go back to diet. If there's not really anything that you can do about being stressed, really, really try to make sure that you're getting a good diet to at least counteract some of it. So if you don't have time to eat well, stock up on salads. Find the healthy things that you do enjoy eating. Try to stock up on those. Try to add in a lot of fruits and vegetables. Drink your green juices. Get your multivitamins in. So do those things when you're stressed, because your body is just poor body. You know what I mean? It needs all the help it can get, and just trying to get sleep and take care of it and get your vitamins would be really good. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to baby your hair. This video is going to be super, super freaking long, and I need to change my battery. So let me change my battery. Should have said this at the beginning of the video, but if I'm rambling too long for you, just speed the video up. Okay, so now we're going to talk about like different treatments you can do for your hair. And protein treatments are incredibly popular, moisture treatments are incredibly popular, and now Olaplex is on the scene. And what do they consider themselves? They are considered a bond builder instead of a protein treatment. So these are 3 types of treatments that a lot of people do to get their hair into good shape. The first thing I would recommend you do is to make sure you're rotating moisture and protein. So Google your products, your current hair products that you're using every day, and make sure that they don't contain protein, if you can figure it out. Sometimes it's a little complicated and it's probably not that big of a deal, but it's a good thing to know. If you're like Pantene Pro V, I'm pretty sure has protein in it, so you don't want to be doing too much protein on top of that. You can cause damage to your hair, and some people are more sensitive to protein than others, so you just want to take the protein easy. The other thing with protein, mask, major moisture mask afterwards. Protein can leave your hair feeling stiff. An actual hard protein treatment can leave your hair feeling very stiff and dry, and you're going to want to really moisturize. Don't do it very often. Some people can handle a month, some people like every 6 weeks. So it's something that you want to just take easy with. Make sure you're following directions, maybe talk to your hairdresser. Really take seriously when you're doing protein treatments. They can be very good for your hair. They help fill in the bonds. They can help strengthen your hair. Actually, if you have really damaged color treated hair and you're color correcting, a little bit of protein filler can actually help your hair absorb the color more evenly. So there is benefits to protein. They actually do work. You just have to be careful with it. The next thing is a moisture mask. Everybody does moisture masks. Everybody I know does moisture masks anyways. You just want to, in my opinion, I think the best moisture masks are going to be silicone free. I don't really like silicones in my hair products. Back to Olaplex, I have noticed a difference. When I use Olaplex, it's not anything groundbreaking. I don't really feel, I do notice a difference. It is something a little bit different, and I like it. I wouldn't say that it's not groundbreaking. Let me take that back. I'm going to say it's not miracle working. It is kind of groundbreaking in that it's a filler without being just a protein treatment. It does have some protein in it, but like I said, it considers itself a bond builder. I think it does help strengthen the hair, especially now that I'm coloring again. I really didn't notice too much when I just use it on my regular healthy hair, but now that I'm coloring again, I feel like I can tell that it kind of adds some shine. It also helps my texture, which I'll get back into the texture maybe in a minute. But it also, I can see a noticeable difference in my texture. It gives me a little bit more wave where I normally have wave, and chemical processes kind of take that away. Sulfate free, silicone free, talked about that again. This is where I'm going to talk about the texture of my hair. Look, I know a lot of people don't really have issues with silicones and sulfates. I just did a video on these products right here, like literally just filmed it, and this is actually a sulfate shampoo with a silicone-free conditioner. I thought it was amazing. So for me, I no longer think the sulfates are really problematic for me in particular. I do have oily hair. If you have dry hair, I would probably avoid sulfates. If you have curly textured hair, if you have really, really fine hair, I would just avoid silicones. I don't like them. If you disagree with me, just skip over this part. Every time I try products that have silicones in them at this point, my hair just feels so dry. And then like halfway through the day, it starts getting really, really tangly, and I can't figure that out. I want to do some more research about what could be causing my hair to get tangly with silicones, because we always think of silicones with all the slip. But my hair gets really tangly like halfway through the day, and just the tangles alone are damaging my hair because it's really hard to brush them out without completely, ripping my hair out. So Anyways, I personally don't like them. They change the texture of my hair. When I'm using silicone products, my hair goes really limp, really flat, no volume. I just don't like them. And like I said, my hair feels dry. I'm going to move on now. This brings me to point number 8, and that is how to figure out which products work for you. And I'm going to share my method with you. I use what I'm going to call in this video the 6 shampoo method. And basically I pick a shampoo and conditioner in my collection, and I use it consistently for at least 6 washes. This is my magic number. You may find that yours is different, but if you try this exercise, you will be able to figure out your number after some trial and error. After 6 washes, keep using the same shampoo and conditioner, and then play around with some of your most used styling products and take note of their effects in your hair. So the point here is to have consistency and to really get to know what the products are doing for you, and then get to know what your styling products are doing in combination with that product. Does that make sense? Go back and listen to that part again if it doesn't make sense, and feel free to ask me any questions. Because basically you're just trying to isolate the products. You really want to give it time. It takes, like I said, it takes me 6 washes, and there have been products that I have used and I hated them. I hated them for wash number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I hated them. And then like suddenly on wash 5 or 6, I'm like, oh, my hair feels really, really, really good. So I would say give it a little bit of time. But after around 6 or 7 washes or so, once you figure out your number, if it's still not working for you, just declutter it. We change our products so frequently, we overdo it. And we have no idea what the products are actually doing for our hair. Like, somebody else, I kept seeing reviews. We got these boxes on like August 28th, I don't remember. And then there were reviews up on August 29th. They're like, I just got this yesterday, it's amazing. And I'm like, you don't even have a clue what that did for your hair. No clue. And first impressions can be okay, but especially when it comes to like hair products and stuff, no. You don't have a clue what it did to your hair. You could use it the second time and your hair could all dry and fall off. And then it's not so great. You're going to have to go edit your review. The things that you want to make note of after you've done your hair or washed your hair 6 times, or even throughout the process, but you want to make note of what's your volume levels like, what's your texture, is it good or bad, is it what you like? You know, this is also about what you like. Your moisture levels, are you getting oily again really quickly? What's your styling ability? How are your roots versus your ends? That's always a really good way to gauge the health of your hair. If you're really, really oily up here at the scalp and you're really, really dry down here, you got an imbalance and you got a problem that you should probably start work on correcting. The next thing is combability throughout the day. Like I talked about with the silicones, if your hair's getting really knotty and tangly throughout the day, getting really dry at the ends, you might be having a styling product problem and you might need to figure that out. All right, I need to hurry. Next thing I want to talk about is protective styling. This is a phrase commonly heard in the African hair community, but it's definitely something everyone should understand. This is true. There are hairstyles that you can do for your hair that ease the stress on your hair and protect the hair. I'm not talking about cultural appropriation here. I don't think that white girls, no, let me put this back. I don't think that people with really fine hair like myself should be wearing cornrows. Look, it's not really good for your hair. It's not protective for your hair. It's a lot of pulling and stuff, so it's not kind of the same thing. What you're looking for is a really easy style that's very loose. I like to do a really loose bun on top of my head. I let my hair get super, super greasy and just put it all up there. I mean, I'm talking like 5 days greasy. I have oily hair, so that's a lot for me. But we're just putting in some dry shampoo. We're letting it get really greasy. We're getting our own oils out and just putting it in a bun. I love a bun for my protective style. And I'm giving my hair a break. So this is a way I can give my hair a blow dry break. I hardly ever blow dry anymore. I didn't blow dry today. I just gently ran a little bit of straightener through, and I don't really overstyle my hair anymore. So it's just try to figure out how to not overstyle your hair. You don't need a straightener, all this stuff all in one day, curling one. If you're using all these tools, you're hurting your hair. Next, that brings me to protective sleeping. No, not really. Silk or satin pillowcases, a head wrap, if you can find one that'll stay on your head. If you know one that'll stay on your head, let me know down below. I bought a $7, $8 satin pillowcase from Marshall's. I really, really like it. I also sleep with a very, very loose bun on top of my head. And I have noticed, because like when I wake up in the morning, before I was getting a lot of breakage, so I had a lot of hair, like baby hairs kind of coming out of my bun. I have noticed a lot less since I started sleeping on the satin pillowcase, so that's a good sign. Number 11 is your hairbrushes. I really want to make a separate video about hairbrushes, but in the meantime, know this. Round brushes are the devil's work. Round brushes are really bad for your hair, especially if you have texture like mine, super fine hair. It just pulls and breaks. They're just not really good for your hair. Anything that has incredibly densely packed bristles like that really shouldn't be just dragged through the hair, you know? You gotta be really careful with stuff like that. They're not necessarily meant for people with long hair. Another thing, detangle always before you're brushing. Make sure you're using your wet brush or a brush that's similar like that, a wide tooth comb. Start from the ends, work your way up. It takes a while, but make sure you do that before actually brushing your hair. You want to make sure it's detangled so you're not creating more knots and tangles and ripping your hair out. Another thing, I have a brush. I meant to bring it in here, but it's really awesome to, I'll put a picture of it in. I'm going to regret that because I'm going to have to take a picture of it now. But I'll put a picture of it in here somewhere. This is an awesome brush. And yes, I know it has densely packed bristles, but it also has the detangling. So this is a very, very, very good brush to help you move the oils from the scalp to the ends. Just make sure you're detangled first, then gently use this brush. And it's awesome. This is one of the most amazing brushes I've ever had. I'll link it below. It's amazing. And no, I lost my Amazon affiliation because I didn't sell anything. So it's not even an affiliate link. The best deep conditioner you will ever use is your own hair oil. So get over being phobic of your greasy ass hair. Girl, just hide it. Just put some dry shampoo, put it up in a bun, put it up in a ponytail, just hide it. Because this is the best defense you have against dry, damaged, broken hair. There is no product on the market that is going to be better for you than your own hair grease. If I could bottle mine up, I would. Oh, that sounds so gross. Oil pre-wash. This is something else. Oh, hold on. Back to oil hair grease. Another good way to distribute your oils from here to here is water washing. I definitely don't have time to cover water washing in this video. But learn about it. It really helps work your natural oils from here and gets them down into here. And it's amazing. It's a technique I use from time to time. I don't use it every day or even probably weekly, but I do use it probably like twice a month to kind of help move the oils. It's good. It's good stuff. Oil pre-wash. This is for the people who are too busy to deep condition or just who want a little extra protection. I did it today. We're always doing the oil pre-wash. Basically, I take something, almond oil, jojoba oil, something somewhat light. It's going to probably take you some trial and error to figure out what works best for you. But basically, you're just putting some oil on the worst parts of your hair so that when you wash your hair, it's protected and the shampoo kind of has to cut through that oil. And it also leaves, like sometimes it'll leave just a little bit in the hair, which for me is desirable. For you, it may not be. It just kind of depends. Like I said, that's a trial and error thing, but it's great because it doesn't take any time. You don't have to leave it on there. It's not like a pre-treatment. You don't have to like sit for 5 minutes. It's literally, you can just do it and then get in the shower. It's really, really good for people who are just busy and have to go. Okay. Lastly is prevention, and I just want to mention the signs. Know the signs. Once you get your hair back into good condition, you are going to want to pay more attention to your hair. You're going to want to be noticing things. Like I said, I was noticing that I'm getting a little texture that I don't like, so I'm gonna take a break. Dry ends versus oily scalp. Dry scalp, brittle or fragile hair that is breaking easily like a dry spaghetti noodle. Extremely stretchy hair. That when my hair broke off and fell out, that's what I had, like hair that would stretch. And it was so weird. I was like, what's going on here? Extremely stretchy hair, like a wet spaghetti noodle. Basically no spaghetti noodles. You don't want your hair to feel like spaghetti noodles. If you have spaghetti noodles, you better go see somebody about that. Your hair shouldn't be overly stretchy. Coarse texture on fine hair, which is what I'm experiencing right now that I don't like. More tangles than usual. A split end explosion. Everybody has split ends, but if all of a sudden they're just everywhere, something's going on, you need to take a minute and assess what you're doing there. Dull hair that is not normal for you. Some people's hair is super, super shiny. Some people's hair is just not. Personally, my hair is super shiny and I wish it weren't so shiny. Is that crazy? I think it makes it look oily. But anyways, texture changes, dull hair, if that's not normal for you. And what I mean, one of the things I mean by texture changes is something I mentioned a couple times. I have a lot of different textures in my hair, but I've had my hair long enough, I know where they're at. I get really, really curly under here. I get a lot of wave everywhere else. All right, and my front pieces tend to be kind of straight. When this hair starts getting straight and not able to get any wave in it, especially when it's wet, I can tell. I know that something's wrong and I know that my hair is damaged or I'm using the wrong product or something like that. I don't want to, even if I'm going to straighten my hair out, if that makes sense, I still don't want it to lose its natural texture, because once it starts doing that, I know that something's changed, especially because I'm not doing a chemical process to do that. Like, I'm not doing a chemical straightener, you know what I mean? So if it starts doing that on its own, I'm like, hold up, something's wrong. So I know that that was a lot of info. I'm going to just even read this, but I thought it would be nice to have a video about all the things that I learned from my own hair journey. To share with my family and friends and all my YouTube buddies. So let me know if you have any tips to add as well. I definitely know I didn't cover everything, but that was so long. I talked so much just now. I don't know that I've ever talked that much in my life at one time. Probably have, but I would love to hear your tips, guys. So let us all know down below if you have anything to add. Let me know if you made it through the end of the video. And I'm giving you a thumbs up now because I appreciate you so much and I love you so much and thank you so much. And I will see you guys again soon.